Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Yesterday was a packed day. Not only did we get a trailer drop for the Battlefield Portal, but we also got details on how to make the darn thing work. Plus, we got an EA earnings call that was snuck in there. CEO Andrew Wilson said, EA currently has no plans to roll out a free-to-play Warzone-like experience for the Battlefield franchise anytime soon. So for any of you that were concerned or worried that Hazard Zone was going to be free-to-play or not free-to-play, well, it's not going to be free-to-play. So tell me, what do you think? Do you think Hazard Zone should be free-to-play? Do you think if it was free-to-play, it would, entice cheaters to come in? Or are you like me? Do you think that the entire Battlefield 2042 is a very high-value proposition? Let me know in the comments down below. And now on to what we're talking about today, which was the Portal information that dropped yesterday. And I'm excited for it. I know a lot of you guys are excited for it. I do have a few concerns, but we'll cover that at the end of all this other information. So I'm guessing you're wanting to know exactly how it is that you get going and how do you create your own server. First, right off the bat, I want you to know that you don't need to own a copy of the game to actually do anything for Battlefield Portal. If you're one of the I like to create types, and I want to create something to help people and have them play my experience, you don't need to own a copy of the game because the Battlefield Portal experience starts on the web. No matter what device you want to use, your phone, your tablet, PC, whatever, if you have an EA account that is in good standings, you can go in there and create an experience for us to play. Now, what will be really cool is if DICE would allow us to go ahead and have early access to all those Portal tools so that we could start making our servers right away. And that way we don't have to wait on launch day. We could be playing with this right now, getting used to it. Heck, even having servers ready to go. So when launch day comes, we're hitting the ground running. So DICE, if you're listening, make it happen, Captain. Now, the trailer dropped and kind of gave us a glimpse at what we can expect from Portal, but showcasing Battlefield 3, Battlefield Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 1942 maps. And those are Battle of the Bulge, El Alamein, Arica Harbor, Valparaiso, Noshaar Canals, and Caspian Border. As I said earlier, there are 3 levels of creating your own server. There's an easy way, a not so easy way, and then there's the, oh my god, what did I get myself into? So first, the easy way. You can pick a default that was pre-selected by DICE, so you can jump right on in and relive some of the maps from your past, being Battlefield 1942, Bad Company 2, whatever the case is. You can just put up a rotation, and whatever map you're on, that will be the default of what you're going to select. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can do that. You can change some things. You can add vehicles to that. You can change all kind of stuff. The further down the rabbit hole you go, the more difficult it might be. So at the very beginning, from the homepage, you'll be able to see the experience that you've created, as well as browse a range of pre-made experiences crafted by the team at Ripple Effect. And all of these templates are modifiable. You can actually start off with one of their templates and then go and create something unique from there. If you're someone who prefers to start with a fresh blank canvas, you can do that too by hitting the Create Something New button and get to work. With a clean slate, you're first going to have to decide what game mode you want to go with, and that would be Conquest Large, Conquest, Rush, Free-for-All, and Team Deathmatch. Now, they do emphasize at launch, so I'm wondering if they're going to be adding new game modes down the road, or if it's just going to be this selection. I hope they do add some other game modes that you can model around. That would be a lot of fun. I would love to have some front lines. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Now that you have your game mode selected, all there is to do is pick some maps, and depending on what the game mode is, you can choose from the 128 player maps in Battlefield 2042, and if you picked either Conquest or Rush, you'll be able to add Battlefield Portal classic maps into your rotation. If you're instead selecting something like Free-for-All or Team Deathmatch, you'll also have the option to choose from predefined smaller variants of those existing maps, providing you with more variety and more opportunity to find map playlists that might best suit your vision. 128 player Caspian Border gas station, Team Deathmatch. Let's go. I want to see it. Now, before you get in too deep, you can change a few things right off the bat, like your game mode detail. That includes maximum players, your game time, your squad spawn time, the pre-squad character limit, reinforcements removed per kill, and that means when you take somebody out, how many tickets do they lose? I think that's what they're referring to there, and a reinforcement multiplier. Once you've done that, now you get into the other toggles. And again, all of these are just, do you want this or you don't want this? So a lot of this is on-off type stuff, but you can do things like, do you want friendly fire on? Do you want extreme weather events? Stationary weapon emplacements? Classic soldier weapon tuning? Do you want to have it play like Battlefield 1942, or do you want to have it play like Battlefield 2042? You can choose aim assist, and you can also choose whether you want aim assist, zoom, snap. And then you can also choose projectile speed multiplier, global damage multiplier, extreme weather events, classic soldier weapon tuning. That means if you want it to play like how Battlefield 1942 actually played, you can do that. You can have that experience. You can also choose whether or not the character actually drops a weapon or ammo when they get taken out. So once they drop on death, do they leave behind ammo or their weapon or nothing at all? Now keep in mind, we're still in just the modifiers. This is only modifying a few things here and there. So you don't have to go into any of this if you don't want to. Now, once you get into the soldier modifiers, you can choose how you want the game that you've designed to play. You can start managing the behavior of the infantry on these servers. You can choose whether they want them to prone, strafe while sprinting, sprint, aim down sights, health regeneration, traversal sprint, slide, and squad revives. So you can actually add these things into an older experience. So if you're playing with Battlefield 3 on one of those maps and you say, hey, I want them to still be able to pick people up. I want to slide. What would it be like if we could slide in Battlefield 3? Would it eliminate all that hopping around that we have? You know, these are the questions you have to ask yourself. Do you want that traditional experience? But then later on, you can have a modern experience in those games. This is going to be a lot of fun. Now, they have modifiable multipliers, and those are tweakable in the areas of fall damage, move speed, maximum health, health regen, and redeploy delay. The man down type field will allow you to choose from a downed, crawled, which is unique to Hazard Zone, and instant death states. If you're including vehicles into your mod, then this is where you can choose to adjust your vehicles here. Now, if you want to control more information about what the player has access to on screen, in other words, their UI, you can turn that on or off, but you can also target individual things like the compass, the mini map, including the big map, the overall HUD, soldier weapon modification plus menu, ally identification. You can also make adjustments to the behavior of the ping system that's used in 2042, or you can change it to the classic 3D spotting system. Or you can actually just not have any spotting whatsoever. No spotting, no ping system, nothing. I don't know what kind of game mode we're playing, but I guess it could be interesting. Now, once you get to the AI section, you just need to determine if you want to even have bots in your game at all. If you do, then depending on the number of players you have, you can decide whether you want it to be a PvE game, and that is where it's you against the bots. So you have a squad going up against 124 other bots, or is it going to be a PvP, where as the players come in, they are taking the place of the bots. But on the screen, you'll be able to choose the AI type, the AI difficulty, their man down type, whether they can go prone or not, the soldier movement and speed, everything that you've chosen on the previous screen, it will reflect here as well. If you're using bots, you're able to either synchronize your setting with options you've set for human players previously, or you can separately define the behaviors using many of the same modifiers available for human players that you've previously set. Now for some restrictions. With the core of your mode established and your modifiers set, you can now determine which era of Battlefield will complete your experience. If you're looking to sustain variety and you have the factions changed across your map rotation, you can select map defaults by clicking the Battlefield Portal logo left of the title for Battlefield 2042. This means if you're playing on Al Alamein, the faction will be default to 1942, and then you would rotate to Battlefield 3 soldiers if the next map was Caspian Border. If you go for this option, it will prevent you from determining any restrictions to characters, weapons, attachments, vehicles, or gadgets So if you're looking to fine-tune things, make sure to lock in a dedicated era-specific team for using across all maps. Now, as far as characters go, depending on what you've chosen in the previous sections, you'll then be able to deselect which classes or 2042 specialists you're playing with. So if you don't want a specific specialist, you can uncheck that. If you don't want a specific class, you can uncheck that as well. Now that you've chosen your faction, you'll have the ability to manage what weapons are available. In total, there are over 75 weapons available across the entire experience for Battlefield Portal at launch. If both teams are from the same era, you can also make use of our Unlinked Teams function to customize exactly which weapons each team is gaining access to. To make things easy, there are filters you can use to refine what's displayed, and global switches that are enabled quick deselection for each weapon classes. Disable all the weapons, and players will spawn in with a melee weapon instead. Now, many of the Battlefield 2042 weapons unlock as you progress in rank, with many experiences in Battlefield Portal able to reward you with XP that help you level up, even if you're not using a 2042 faction. If a player hasn't unlocked a specific weapon that you've selected in your mode, you'll also be required to select at least one default weapon so that a new player can spawn in with a weapon. Now, all of the Battlefield Portal weapons, gadgets, and attachments from our classic Battlefield games are otherwise unlocked from the start. Next, you'll go to the attachment screen so you can actually pick what type of ammo you allow. There's a lot that you can choose from here. Now, depending on what you selected in previous menus, the plus menu will also be accessible, though if you prefer this to be kept as a strictly classic experience, you can unset this option and ensure that attachments can only be changed on the deploy screen or from the Battlefield Portal's collection menu. So you can choose from whether someone is able to use a certain type of shotgun shell, a certain type of scope, things like that. But you can also create an asymmetrical game mode. Like if you have a team that only has iron sights versus a team that is more dialed in and at range with scopes. You can do that. So next is vehicles. So unless you've deselected vehicles in a prior menu, you'll now have the option to define which vehicles are restricted from the pre-selected eras. Next is gadgets, where you can choose whether or not you want people to actually have specific gadgets. So if you want people to run around with rocket launchers only, you can do that. Now, that covers it when it comes to just the toggles off and on. Now, I did say that there was a medium level, and I think that's what this was. This is when you're getting this deep into it, you can mess some things up. You can leave some toggles on or off and didn't know what you were doing. But the great thing is that they're going to inform you of how this game mode is set up. You'll be able to see that. Now, we can actually go a little deeper, and this is where it's going to get a little bit more difficult, is that you can go into a logic editor or their rules editor. So how it works, if you have selected a compatible core rule set, here's where you can go wild. Using the toolbar, you can start to build out the scripting that governs the conditions and behaviors of your Battlefield Portal experience. Not sure what a function is and can do? Right-click on it and choose Help. We'll show you details about the behavior of the function and share an insight on how it is used. Now, with using the logic editor, it's probably not a bad idea to actually start off with one of the defaults that they've already provided for you. And you can do that. You can actually just upload that experience and use that when you go into the logic editor and go from there. And there's a lot more information here that you can go through. I've got a link in the description down below that'll take you to this. I would highly recommend just reading through everything if you want to know more about the logic editor. This is probably something that's a little bit over my pay grade. The cool thing is that if you need some help, it'll provide you with a URL so that you can actually send to someone and they can work on it. They can put their own spin on things, and then you can generate a code that anybody can use whenever they want to use that code to make their own server. So they can do that. I like the idea of that you can just keep building on this. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I do think that Battlefield Portal is going to be a great experience. I think that it's going to have a lot of potential. But like I said at the start of the video, we have a few things that we can and can't do. Like right now, there are no admins. As an owner, you'll be able to broadcast a message, kick players, ban players, unban player, restart map, next map, take down server. And again, if you ban someone, they are to your particular profile. You don't have to reban them from another server. So if you create 100 servers, they're banned on your profile. They'll never be able to get into your server. And that's a good thing. Now, a lot of this are things that they could provide to us down the road. As of right now, you can't customize anything in the maps, or you can't make things adjustable. Like, I would love to be able to create specific game modes, but I think they were concerned that people were going to go in and start trying to create some sort of battle royale. And again, these are things that we'll see down the road. I don't know. And hopefully one day soon, we'll actually get permanent servers. That's the only downside to all of this. So if you spin up a server and then the last person leaves, it doesn't delete the server. It just spins down, and it doesn't spin back up until you get back in there and get it going. That means it's no longer searchable for anybody. It's no longer available for anybody to jump in. And that's kind of sad. There's two things to resolve this. One, I would allow for rentable servers, but two, why don't you just keep it making it searchable? And so when somebody jumps into it, then they can spin it up. Why do you have to spin it up as an owner? I really disagree with that. I think that people should be able to just jump into it and spin it up whenever they're ready to go and they're available. That would make a lot of sense to me. Maybe it can be done. Maybe it can't. I don't know. It's just a thought. Well, I've done rambled on about this enough. Again, if you want to go check all this out, I have a link for you in the description down below. Go check it out. It's a lot of information, but I'm looking forward to it. If you want to talk more about this, I'll be streaming just about every day. Normally I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 1 o'clock, but here lately there's not a whole lot going on, so I decided, what the hell, we're going to stream every day. So come by, say hello. Again, start at 1 o'clock Eastern time here in the US. All right, well, that's about it for me, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, bye for now.